What's going on, people? This is me, Mo, aka Arsenal Mo 8, or economics guy, or accountancy man, whatever you want to call me. I'm doing my top 5, so here's my top 5 Arsenal players of all time. Number 5, Patrick Vieira. So, what can you say about this guy? He is just a absolutely phenomenal midfielder, box to box. He gets praised for his defensive abilities, but even counter-attacking, going forward, he was such a brilliant player to have in your team. I remember being in grounds watching Vieira play. When he'd put in a big tackle, it was like we've just scored a goal. The reaction of the fans to Vieira, he's the sort of player that would get into any team at any point he's phenomenal. I absolutely love the guy. Great captain. And it's not a surprise the last time he won a trophy, he had the last touch of the ball. But that's my number 5. Number 4, it's the great man. They say you cut him in half and you have Arsenal spelled out inside of him. Mr. Arsenal himself, Captain Fantastic Tony Adams. He's just an unbelievable player, just Arsenal through and through. And what I love about Tony Adams as well, not just his performances, but he really came through serious adversity. Even though it was self-inflicted, for a man to come through it like that and achieve the level of performance and that moment, that statue we've got outside our beautiful ground of him against Everton, wrapping up that 4-0 and sealing the title. That's a man who's come through some serious problems in his life, and I love his character, just love his leadership and his influence. Absolute legend of our club. Number 3, now this is where it gets really tough, and my number 2 and number 3 are like a millimetre apart. But I'm going to have to say number 3, the Flying Dutchman, Dennis the Iceman Bergkamp. Of all the players I've ever watched, there's something about that guy. When he'd get the ball, and when you're actually watching him in the flesh, when he gets the ball, it's as if things go into slow motion. Not that he slowed the game down, but he always had so much time on the ball. Just his level of technique and the way he played the game, that's God-given. You can't teach that, you can't learn it. Dennis Bergkamp, some of his moments, the goal against Leicester, the goal against Argentina, and above all, that goal against Newcastle. Any goal I've ever seen of being able to understand how a player has achieved that piece of skill or that shot or something, even Roberto Carlos's, you can understand the science of it. But spinning the ball with the inside of your left foot around a defender, that goal for me displayed everything that guy had. Skill, composure, just confidence, and then just finishing, strength, absolutely unbelievable. So Dennis Bergkamp, that's my number 3. Number 2, people aren't going to be expecting this one maybe, but Thierry Henry. I think you might have been expecting him to be number 1, but Thierry Henry, what can you say about him? If you say one thing is that he never lost against Tottenham, that makes him a legend anyway. He used to absolutely demolish that team. Henry was just phenomenal. I didn't think that I'd see Ian Wright's goal scoring record get broken, and Henry came and just blew it out of the water, really. He was phenomenal. What a signing, what a player. And one thing I love about Henry is true of Bergkamp as well, but even since he's left, how highly he speaks about Arsenal, the class of the man, I just absolutely love him. Take note, RVP. Number 1, my favourite player of all time, not just Arsenal player, my favourite player in the history of the game is the man. He was so good, they named him thrice. It's Ian Wright. I just, do you know what? I just love Ian Wright. To the extent that, honestly, Ian, I hope you watch this. I will take a bullet for you, man. I absolutely love you. I was 13 years old when I went to my first Arsenal game. My parents weren't born in this country. They didn't know what football was all about. But somehow I managed to drag my mum and my sister all the way to London when I was 13, and they waited outside the ground for me to watch the game on 13th of September 1997, Arsenal against Bolton. And I remember in the run-up to that game, that was my first ever Arsenal game. So even though I wanted him to break the record, I was thinking how amazing it would be if he broke it at my first game. And I just had a feeling when I was going to the game that he'd do it. And he didn't disappoint, did he? Scored a hat-trick in that game, took his t-shirt off a bit too early and revealed that 179 t-shirt. It was just, oh God, that day is for me like one of the best days of my life. I absolutely love that guy, the passion he played the game with, how much he loves the club, the celebrations, just everything about him. That for me, I'll go on record as saying this, he's better than Pele, better than Maradona, better than anyone. I love you, Ian Wright. Favourite player of all time. That's it. That's my top 5. All right, so you've heard my top 5, and this is always going to stimulate a lot of discussion. So let me hear your top 5. Let's have a little debate. Put your comments below, and I'll try and respond to them all. So let me know your top 5, what you agree with, what you disagree with, and all things Arsenal is going to be a good discussion. Cheers.